Hello everyone. Today we will discuss cross connections. Yes, you're right, but not of the people, of the commodities. Okay, commodities do have cross connections in their price and demands, and that's what we will discuss today in our cross price effects, that is demand part 3. We have already completed two parts of our demand, theory of demand, that is what is demand, what is the function of demand, and then what are complementary goods, substitute goods, law of demand, shifting of demand, then extension, contraction of demand, and that's now we are discussing cross price effects. Please watch those videos before watching this, or otherwise you won't be able to understand it nicely. Right. So we will start with our cross price effects. What is cross price effect? Effect of change in price of related good on the demand of commodity. See what is happening. Price of related good. If price of any related good, what is a related good? Related good means either the substitute goods or the complementary goods. If price of these goods change, then effect is cast upon the demand of commodity. Take for example substitute goods and complementary goods. Substitute goods are the goods which can be used in place of one and another, like tea and coffee. If tea is not available, you can have coffee, and if coffee is not available, you can easily go for a cup of tea. So that's why these are known as substitute goods. That means they can be used in place of one another. Second one are the complementary goods. Goods, those who are complementing each other, like car and petrol. See, car and petrol are useless if they are not combined together. Take for example, if car is not there, then what you will do of a petrol, and if petrol is not there, how can you run a car? So that's the case with complementary goods. And pen and marker, this too is an example of complementary goods. In everyday life also you will find some or the other complementary goods. In case of your spices, in case of like camera, the camera one I am using for shooting this video, see here battery is there and camera is there. If battery is not there, camera will be useless. So they are complementary goods. So first we will take the example of substitute goods. Here I have taken the example of Coca-Cola and Pepsi. These can be easily used as substitute goods. They are mainly used in India. Substitute goods are beverages, cold beverages. So take for example, if I am purchasing 2 bottles of Coca-Cola and 2 Pepsi bottles per week in my home. So here 2 bottles of Pepsi and 2 Coca-Cola has been taken, and Coca-Cola has been taken as a main commodity. Main commodity, why? Because we will discuss demand for this commodity, and Pepsi we will take price of this commodity. These are substitute goods. Okay, we will discuss price demand for Coca-Cola. So demand curve for Coca-Cola, in case of both the examples we will take D1, D1. Demand for Coca-Cola initially is what? You can see it is 2 bottles. 2 bottles here, 2 bottles, and here also 2 bottles. First we will take the case of increase in price. Increase in price of which commodity? Pepsi. Why? Because price of Coca-Cola is constant. We are not discussing price and demand of Coca-Cola, but the price of Pepsi and demand of Coca-Cola. Right? Clear? Okay. So here demand for Coca-Cola will change if price of Pepsi will change. How? See, take for example, if price of Pepsi increases. If price of Pepsi increases, what will happen to the demand of Pepsi? You will decrease the demand of Pepsi, -1. So what will happen? You will buy only 1 bottle of Pepsi now, and you will increase the consumption of Coca-Cola. That means 3 bottles now and 1 bottle of Pepsi. But we are not discussing demand of Pepsi, we are discussing the demand of Coca-Cola. So we will see the demand of Coca-Cola. What has happened to the demand of Coca-Cola? It has increased. Now, for increase in demand, what do? We discussed in last video that we shift our demand curve towards right. So we will shift our demand curve towards right, and that is D2, sorry, D2, D2. So now demand for Coca-Cola has increased to 3 bottles, right? Now, this is the first case, and when we shift our demand curve towards right, we move rightwards, and that is increase in demand. See, you face towards your notebook or paper on which we are studying, or the board, and see your left hand, sorry, right hand will move towards increase, that is rightward direction means increase, this is increase, and if your curve move towards shifts towards your left, that is decrease. So our demand has increased, so we will move towards right. Now in second case, if price of Pepsi decreases, what will happen to the demand for Pepsi and price of Coca-Cola is constant? If price of Pepsi decreases, people will start consuming more of Pepsi. Now what will happen? People will purchase these two bottles and one more bottle of Pepsi. Now what will happen to the demand for Coca-Cola? What will happen? People will decrease demand for Coca-Cola, because we are discussing demand for Coca-Cola, not the Pepsi. Here people are increasing demand for Coca-Cola, so automatically demand for Coca-Cola will decrease. So now they will purchase only one bottle. Now here what is happening? Two bottles initially were being purchased. Now if demand decreases, D2 it will move towards which direction? Left direction, leftward. Okay, so here D2 is our new demand curve for Coca-Cola, and demand for Coca-Cola has decreased to one bottle, and now this is leftward movement and our Coca-Cola demand has decreased to one bottle. Clear? Okay, these are having, see, here we are discussing price of one commodity and the effect of that price change on demand of another commodity. Here it is clear, we are discussing demand for Coca-Cola, not of Pepsi. Demand for Coca-Cola and price of Pepsi. That's why they are known as cross connections. Price of one and demand for another. Next, we will discuss complementary goods. Here, complementary like car and petrol. Take for example, increase in price of petrol. What will happen when price of petrol will increase? Think for a while. Yes, you're right. People will think that petrol's price is increasing, we can use some other mode of transportation, and they will stop buying cars, and that's how demand for cars will decrease. Take for example, if price of cars is constant and demand is initial demand, that is they were demanding D1 this much amount of cars. Take for example, in any car showroom, if people were buying 10 cars, and if price of petrol increases, they will decrease demand for cars now, because they think that it is costlier mode of transportation. So here their demand for cars will decrease and it will become D2 and it will move towards left, D2. So here it may reduce to 5 cars, 4 cars, or whatever the market tendencies go on. So in this manner, price of petrol increases, demand for cars will decrease, because they are used in place of one another. That you can think that as a one commodity only. Car and petrol, don't think they are two commodities, think them as one commodity. And this is the direct operation of law of demand. Price is increasing, demand is decreasing, right? Price and demand, right? Think it as one commodity, both of them. Okay, so price of petrol is increasing and demand for cars is decreasing. Now, if price of petrol decreases, what will happen? If this is demand curve for cars initially, if price of petrol is decreasing, people will think it is cheaper mode of transportation, it is good to have a car, they will buy more and more cars, and that's how demand for cars will increase and your demand curve will shift towards right. Increase, that is right. Okay, demand for cars has increased. Now, we move on to our income and demand effect. What is the relationship between income and demand? In normal cases also, whenever our income increases, when our salary hike is there, what happens to us? We buy more and more commodities. But this is true only in case of normal commodities, not in case of inferior goods. What are normal goods which each and everyone can purchase without any hesitation, because they are of good quality or normal quality? But in some other cases, some of the commodities are inferior commodities. Those are very cheap commodities or of bad quality or inferior quality, and people who cannot afford normal goods, they are compelled to buy those cheap commodities. If our income is really very low, then we won't be able to purchase good quality of goods and we have to buy these cheap commodities. And here we have taken example of rice. One is of cheap quality of rice, that is coarse rice, and one is of basmati or very good brand of rice. that we can use, people can normally use. Okay, here, if the demand for that normal good we will discuss first. Normal goods. If this is the initial demand and price of this good is constant, but income is increasing and decreasing. If in first case, normally when income increases, what do? We increase consumption, that means we increase demand. So this is very easy. We will increase. In case of increase in income increase, first case, this is first case, income increase, and our demand curve will move towards right. Increasing, D2. In second case, if our income falls or decreases, what will happen? Automatically we will stop or decrease consumption of normal goods and we will buy less, and this is our D3. That means our consumption of goods has decreased. Income increases, we consume more. Income decreases, we consume less. So here, increase in income with increase in income, and decrease in this commodity with decrease in demand with decrease in income. So this is leftward movement, this is increase, this is decrease in our income effect. So we have seen the effect of income over demand for normal goods. Now effect of income on the demand of inferior goods. This is our initial demand curve, D1. Okay, now if income increases, what will happen? We will stop buying cheap rice. We will buy a good quality of rice. Then what will happen to the demand of cheap rice? It will decrease. So now here, if our income is increase. In case of increase, this is increase. In case of increase, what is happening? Our demand for this good is decreasing. Because if our income is increasing, we will buy less of this commodity and our demand curve will move towards left, D2. And in case our income is decreasing, then what will happen? Again, we will have to buy these cheap rice only, and in that case our demand will increase, D3. That means here effect of income is opposite. When income increases, people stop buying this, and when income decreases, they start buying more of this. That means demand increases. Okay, so this is rightward movement, this is leftward movement. Clear? So this is opposite effect and this is direct effect of income. Income increase, here income is increasing, demand is increasing, income decreasing, demand is decreasing. Now, taste and preference and demand. What is the effect of taste and preferences on our demand? We will discuss in this section. See, taste and preferences cast a very big impact, very significant impact, substantial impact on our demand. How? If we like some commodity, we will go for buying it, but if we dislike it, we will stop buying it and we will decrease the demand for that commodity. We have taken example of chocolate over here. That was the only example I could think of now. So here, likes and dislikes. That means favorable changes for likes and unfavorable changes for dislikes. If we like something, that is favorable for demand for that commodity. See, if I like chocolates, that means that is favorable for the demand of chocolate company. I will start consuming more of chocolate. And if I dislike chocolate, that is unfavorable. Favorable means in favor of something. Unfavorable means against something. In favor, that's like in debate competition, we talk in favor and against. That happens over here also. If favorable changes take place, like if I start liking chocolate, if trends and fashions, like if there is a trend that if you want to befriend a person, you will give a chocolate. If you are going to somebody's home, you will gift a chocolate. So fashion is also there. Climatic changes or environment. Like if winter season is there, we consume more of chocolates. Okay. So here, if the initial demand is D1, and if favorable changes are taking place, what will happen? People will start consuming more and demand will increase. Favorable means increased demand, so our demand curve will move towards right. And if we start disliking, we'll stop using that commodity or consuming chocolates and we will decrease our demand. If we stop liking it, unfavorable changes will take place and we will decrease demand for chocolates, and that's how our demand curve is moving towards left. Here favorable and this is unfavorable. Okay, clear? So if in case we like it, we will increase demand. demand will shift towards right. If we dislike it, it will decrease and demand curve will shift towards left. So always remember two things. In cross price effects, price of the commodity which you are discussing remains constant. Here you can see price is constant. Price of that commodity is not changing, but price of related commodities are changing. They may be either substitute goods, they may be the complementary goods. Okay, in substitute goods, what is happening? If price of one is decreasing, demand for another one is decreasing. So here we have discussed the price of that is cross price effects of complementary goods, substitute goods, complementary goods. So here we have discussed the effects of price of related goods. That means price of the commodity which we are discussing. So here we have discussed the cross price effects in which price of the commodity of which the demand is being discussed remains constant. See here, price is remaining constant, but price of related goods are changing. They may be substitute goods, they may be complementary goods. And we have seen the income effect and we have seen the effect of taste and preferences on demand. So that's all about our demand. And we have completed our portion of demand over here in 3 parts. Watch all the 3 parts and keep liking and subscribing and be with us. Keep showering love on our channel and keep supporting us. Thank you so much.